Hey everyone, this is Kite562 here, and today I'm starting something I've been looking forward to for a long time. My read through of the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, so be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the content on this channel. I'm your host Kite562 of Kite562 Books and Manga Reviews, so let's get on with the Dark Tower by Stephen King, Book 1, The Gunslinger. This is the first entry, The Gunslinger. I won't be scoring this one individually, though. I'll save that for when I finish the entire series. But I'll be walking through my thoughts chapter by chapter, sharing what stood out, and how it all feels as a start to something much bigger. Part 1, The Gunslinger. Right from the start, we meet Roland, a lone figure crossing an endless desert. The tone here is quiet, reflective, and almost hypnotic. You can feel the miles behind him. The pacing is slow, but you know it's building towards something heavy. He soon meets a man named Brown and a talking raven named Zoltan. Roland feels like the last of his kind, a relic of a dying world. He's searching for the man in black, and the name Blue Haven is hinted at a future destination. There's this moment when Brown talks about his mule dying, and the two share a simple meal. It's almost biblical in its simplicity. Two wanderers talking about death and the afterlife over beans and water. As Roland moves through the town of Toll, the story picks up a haunting western rhythm. The town's dusty streets, its people, and that strange preacher woman Sylvia Pittston, it all feels alive with corruption and secrets. We also meet Allie, the bartender, and her uneasy connection with the man in black. The number 19 becomes a taboo subject, a mystery that feels like it's going to echo throughout the series. The vibe of Toll reminded me of a lot of the old anime Trigun, that same lonely western frontier energy. By the end of part 1, Roland's killed, traveled, and remembered, and we finally glimpse his old mentor, Court, in a dream that marks the end of the first section. A slow burn, but definitely worth the patience. Part 2, The Way Station. Roland meets a boy named Johnathan Chambers, or Jake as he prefers. Jake doesn't remember how he got here, and Roland slowly learns this boy might be from another world entirely. The tone shifts here where he move from solitude to companionship. Jake's backstory hits a little sad. Wealthy parents but no warmth. It's haunting when Roland realizes how empty Jake's old life was. We start getting glimpses into Roland's childhood, his teachers, and his harsh training under Court. There's talk of poisoning, executions, and honor, almost like a medieval code reborn in a crumbling future. By the end of part 2, Roland and Jake finally catch sight of the man in black again. Still far ahead, Roland thinks of his old friend Cuthbert, and the desert journey continues. Part 3, The Oracle in the Mountains. Jake and Roland's bond grows here, but so does the weirdness. The Oracle appears not a being of light, but something dark and seductive. The scenes here feel dreamlike and unsettling, like Silent Hill or Charmed on a fever dream trip. The Oracle tells Roland about 3 people who will be important later, a hint of the next book, The Drawing of the Three. These chapters explore love, temptation, and the price of control. When Roland returns from his encounter, Jake seems more alert, but there's a shadow hanging over both of them. There's a moment when Roland tells Jake about his homeland Canaan, a land of huge grapes and biblical beauty. The contrast between that paradise and this wasteland is very powerful. By the end of this section, the man in black and Roland clash briefly, just a taste of what's coming, and Jake is left behind in danger. Part 4, The Slow Mutants. This part dives deep into Roland's past. We see his childhood games, the harsh lessons, and his fight to prove himself as a gunslinger. The flashbacks are some of my favorite moments, especially the brutal duel with Court, where Roland uses his hawk David as a weapon. It's tragic but symbolic, sacrifice and survival both hand in hand. In the present, though, Roland and Jake travel through the mountains and tunnels filled with ancient technology, a mix of old world and broken future. The tension ramps up especially when mutant creatures attack. These chapters blend fantasy, horror, and post-apocalyptic apocalyptic decay perfectly. The sense of mystery around the Man in Black only grows stronger. Part 5, The Gunslinger and the Man in Black. Finally, the meeting we've all been waiting for. Roland and the Man in Black share a meal of roasted rabbit before their long philosophical confrontation. The Man in Black reveals unsettling truths about time, creation, and the vastness of existence. He uses tarot cards to show Roland glimpses of his fate. The section feels almost cosmic, like we've left the Western behind and stepped into a myth. There's talk of universes, illusions, and even humanity's history. Roland doesn't believe someone actually walked on the moon, though, which really says a lot about how far removed his world is from ours. The Man in Black mentions his master Legion and tells Roland that the Dark Tower draws boys to its door. It's eerie, and you can feel the pull of destiny. Finally, Roland falls into a 10-year sleep, wakes aged and alone and left to wander once again, still chasing the truth and still haunted by Jake. So my final thoughts: the Gunslinger is a slow burn, but it's deliberate. You can see flashes of who Roland is and how Jake fits into his story and how massive this world actually is. Roland's stoic but human. His bond with Jake reminded me of Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us, that same reluctant connection that becomes something much deeper. If you stick with this one, the payoff is there. It's a strange, poetic, and grim introduction to a world that feels both ancient and futuristic. And the 6-chapter preview of the drawing of the three at the end of this really makes it clear things are only just beginning. Like I said, I'm not scoring the Gunslinger on its own. I'll be scoring the entire Dark Tower saga when I finish all 8 books. But as a first step into this journey, it's haunting, patient, and unforgettable.